got to hear from Bryce Young for the first time in the media, and he was very, very impressive. Even when there really wasn't kind of an answer there, Bryce Young could formulate something that gave you a lot of information as to how mature he is, the leadership qualities of the kind of player that he is, and all of that to say, he gives such a cool demeanor. It's no wonder that he's ready to take on this role as the starting quarterback at Alabama. It's no wonder that Nick Saban didn't have to name him the starting quarterback. It's just obvious. You can't. You really have to be something very, very special, somebody very, very knowledgeable, somebody with immense talent to really stand ahead of this guy. And really and truly, the only thing that probably kept this kid from being on the field last year was Mac Jones's experience and the COVID situation, those sorts of things, right? Uh, so he talked about how, as a quarterback of his caliber, you're not looking to avoid the pressure. You're not looking to avoid the expectations. You're looking to fight those distractions and stay focused and do all the sorts of things that lead to being a champion. Joe, we'll play that one. Fighting expectations and staying focused because or distractions, and the way that he goes about that is, and every answer, it's not player speak, right? It sounds genuine, like so often with in the media, we get those answers like, yep, that's kind of what we thought you would say, or well, you said a lot but you didn't really say anything. But instead, we actually learned quite a bit about Bryce Young, and here's what he had to say about fighting those distractions and embracing what it means to be the starting quarterback here at Alabama.
I think really it says a lot about Alabama, and it's honestly not too hard with the culture that we have. Coach Saban from day one, when all the external stuff started to pop up, and it's been going on for a while, with there being whatever distractions there may be. That's something that we preach a lot about, making sure that we keep the main thing the main thing. And we've talked about that a lot in house, and that's something that we really live by. So for us, we're really motivated by working hard and making sure that we attack the challenges the way we want. And really those distractions, whatever they may be, they're always going to be there. And really the culture that we have is something that's really strong, and I'm glad to be a part of it. And it really just keeps us focused on what we need to be focused on.
And that's the goal, really, right? Is for everybody to stay focused and to fight all of these things. And that's what Nick Saban talked about too in his opening comments on his, normally scheduled Wednesday press conference is to fight all of that, to fight the complacency. Don't get stuck in the idea that the AP voters named you the top team in the country. That doesn't matter. That's speculation, and that's an assumption. That's not something that you've actually earned. Sure, we can look back to last year's defense as we did earlier in the week and say, well, wow, that they really did something very special. And with all the carryover and additions, you would expect it to be even better, right? Certainly, right? That's what analysis is. That's what speculation is. But on the flip side, this is a brand new team. And last year has almost you can draw your analysis, you can draw your assumptions from last year. But in reality, this is a brand new team. There's new coaches, there's new schemes, or there's adjusted schemes. I wouldn't say there's brand new schemes. But you've got the new starting quarterback. All of these factors play into the fact and the idea that it's a new year and it's a new effort. And you have different opponents on the schedule in a different order, and you got to go out and you got to handle your business. And that's kind of what Bryce Young is talking about there, echoing Nick Saban. And that's why when he was asked about what his game is like and who he molds his game after, first of all, he in his game he only talked about his leadership. He didn't talk about his arm strength or his maneuverability, his ability to make people miss in the pocket and those sorts of things, his immense accuracy, his camaraderie with his fellow receivers, or any of those sorts of things. He talked about his leadership. And when he talked about the quarterbacks that he molds his game after, Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. Now I know there's a lot of questions about Aaron Rodgers and his leadership capabilities, but make no mistake, there's a reason he's one of the best in the league. Between those,
sold his soul to the devil,
right? Bears fan. But you still look at those two guys as immense leaders. They motivate the men around them to get the job done, right? It takes somebody very, very special to get those kind of things done. And that's what Bryce Young is showing that he's bringing to the table. He is somebody that understands what's valuable as a quarterback in the SEC, what's valuable as a quarterback here at Alabama. And if you can translate, and I have no reason not to believe that he can't, if you can translate that cool demeanor in a 17 or excuse me in a 12-minute press conference where you get 12 questions and you knock them all out of the park. Sure, it's a different environment, but just the ability to stay calm and cool in those situations and translate that to the field, there's something there. There is something there. There's something to kind of bring that excitement out in you and feel confident that Bryce Young really can get the job done. I know there's not a lot of people that are that are actually like speculating that he's going to be bad or anything like that. It's the fear of the unknown complex where, this is the 5-star quarterback. He's got such high expectations. How can he possibly meet them? With Mac Jones, there were no expectations. With Tua, he didn't necessarily meet the expectations because of injuries. With Jalen, there really kind of wasn't any expectation, and he kind of exceeded and blew them all at the same time, right? So it's been a while since we've seen a guy have to deal with so much in this category and actually truly fulfill it. And that's what we're waiting to see in 16 days, or excuse me, in 15 days, when the Alabama Crimson Tide takes on the Miami Hurricanes with a veteran quarterback at their disposal. There's a lot to learn there. And we'll talk about those quarterbacks here next with Jimmy Stein of QB Country on 3 Sports and the Locked On Bama podcast. Next here on Off the Edge, Tide 100.9, your home for Alabama sports.